Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Visit Milwaukee webinar. We're going to wait just a few moments while everyone enters into the webinar chat room and be able to watch. So we'll just give it 1 second as our participants all enter into the webinar. All right. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the April Visit Milwaukee webinar showcasing SEO tips and tricks that will boost your web traffic and engagement with your company's content. My name is Josh Albrecht, Chief Marketing Officer for Visit Milwaukee, and this month we're going to explore the subject that can amplify your business, how quality search engine optimization can unlock a whole new level for your website. Today, we'll be joined by Zach Brown, SEO Manager with our friends at Simpleview, a company that specializes in tourism and hospitality marketing and website design. And he'll give the rundown of all things you need to know about SEO. Before that, we'll welcome Paige Hammond from the Milwaukee Public Market as she highlights their upcoming International Public Market Conference and shares a very exciting update with all of you. Now, let's dive into some partner updates to kick things off today, beginning with a look at the March 2025 Star Report. As we look at our March hotel performance, we'll see that it was a very strong month for our city, thanks to events like the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament, Adepticon, and Anime Milwaukee. Starting with the county, we saw double-digit gains year over year in every category, with over 25% year-over-year increases in RevPAR and revenue, totaling over $6 million in revenue growth compared to March of 2024. As we look at the downtown submarket, we again see some of that compression coming into play, raising average daily rate more than 20% year over year to $163, with 30% year-over-year increases in RevPAR and revenue. Now, I'd like to take a moment to welcome our new and returning partners who have joined in April. So many great new partners and returning partners to help bolster our roster here at Visit Milwaukee. We appreciate your support, and we can't wait to showcase all the incredible things your organization has to offer that makes our city a great place to live, work, and visit. Moving now to some exciting updates and developments from our partners, we'll start with Arab American Heritage Month. As April comes to a close, we take time to recognize and celebrate Arab American Heritage Month, a moment to honor the rich culture, history, and contributions of the many Arab Americans who helped shape our city. Learn more about Milwaukee's Arab American culture and explore our own partners by scanning the QR code now on the screen. The Milwaukee Film Festival is underway today, and Visit Milwaukee is proud to support this annual tradition in the city. Running now through May 8th at the Oriental and Downer Theaters, with hundreds of incredible films across series like Black Lens and Cream City Cinema, is one of the best ways to experience the energy of Milwaukee's art scene this spring. Plan your fest experience today by visiting Milwaukee Films website. Also starting this Thursday, May 1st, Watsville Cafe will officially be powered by Experience Milwaukee, bringing new events, fresh ideas, and creative energy to this Walker's Point hangout. The cozy community vibe everyone knows and loves will stay, but visitors can expect even more reasons to gather and connect. Stop by and check out what's new at the Watsville Cafe. Milwaukee skyline is about to shine even brighter as Light the Hone completes its installation this June. The installation on this landmark bridge will add fresh energy to the skyline just in time for summer along the lakefront. Stay tuned for celebration details as Milwaukee gets ready to light up the night. And we are proud to share that the newly expanded Baird Center has been nominated for a 2025 Stella Award, recognizing it as one of the nation's best convention centers. Following its $456 million expansion, the Baird Center now offers more than 1.3 million square feet of event space and has already become a go-to venue for major meetings and conventions across the country. Voting closes this week, so visit the Stella Awards site and help shine a national spotlight on the Baird Center. Alongside our friends at Baird Center, Visit Milwaukee has also been nominated as one of the top 5 best CVBs and DMOs in the Midwest. This recognition reflects the incredible work happening across our city, from hosting the 2024 Republican National Convention to showcasing Milwaukee on a national stage with Top Chef and highlighting the expanded Baird Center for meetings and events. We would love your support in voting for Visit Milwaukee as this year's Stella Award winner. And in more Visit Milwaukee accolades, I would like to take a moment to recognize our Director of Sports Milwaukee, Marissa Werner, who was recently named the 2025 Sports ETA Woman of the Year. Since launching Sports Milwaukee in 2019, Marissa has helped to elevate our city as a premier host for destination-defining sports events that drive hundreds of thousands of visitors each year. A huge congratulations to Marissa on this incredible honor and for the remarkable work she continues to do for Milwaukee. Great hospitality is at the heart of Milwaukee's visitor experience, and we are proud to recognize the DoubleTree by Hilton Milwaukee Downtown for earning Hilton's prestigious Connie Award. This national honor celebrates the DoubleTree's team's outstanding commitment to service and hospitality. A huge shout out to the whole team at DoubleTree by Hilton Milwaukee Downtown. And finally, please join us in congratulating the Commodore, a Bartolazza restaurant named one of 4 international finalists for Best Event Space at this year's HD Project Awards. Since opening last summer, the Commodore has quickly become a favorite for fine dining and private events along Lake Country's beautiful shorelines. Big congratulations to Paul and the entire Commodore team on this incredible achievement. And Bubba Bikes is doubling its stations across the city, expanding from over 100 to more than 200 locations thanks to a major grant funding recently received. More than 500 new bikes are on the way, making it easier than ever to explore Milwaukee on 2 wheels. Keep an eye out for these new stations popping up and complete the city's Engage Key survey to share your ideas and score a discount on an annual membership with Bubba Bikes. The Milwaukee County Zoo recently launched a new mission and strategic plan called Our Zoo, Our Future, focused on advancing animal care, inspiring environmental action, and leading global conservation efforts. Visit the zoo's website to learn more about the new plan and see how they are shaping the future of this Milwaukee treasure. Bars and Recreation has added a new way to play at Amped, teaming up with True Echo VR to launch Milwaukee's first group virtual reality experience. Guests can dive into adventures like battling zombies or flipping burgers inside a custom-built VR arena. Stop by AMP to try this out for yourself today. And Central Standard Craft House and Kitchen just launched their new weekend brunch menu featuring bold dishes like old-fashioned French toast and Philly Benedict. Guests can also enjoy $25 bottomless brunch cocktails every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Make plans to stop by Central Standard soon and experience the new brunch lineup for yourself. Just this morning, the Puerto Rican Festival of Wisconsin announced that this year's celebration will take place at Henry Meyer Festival Park on Saturday, September 21st. This move marks a major milestone for this festival as it brings Puerto Rican culture, music, and flavor to Milwaukee's world-famous Summerfest grounds during Hispanic Heritage Month. Tickets go on sale May 5th. Stay tuned for details on this year's lineup, vendors, and more by visiting the Puerto Rican Festival of Wisconsin's website. Speaking of Summerfest, they recently announced that Sunday Family Fun Days are returning to Northwestern Mutual Community Park. Starting June 8th, families can enjoy themed activities like performances, hands-on fun from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and they can visit the Northwestern Mutual Community Park website to check out all the details and plan the entire family outing. And now that the NFL draft celebrations are behind us, it is time for another major sports event to take the national stage. In just 4 weeks, the 80th U.S. Women's Open will arrive at Erin Hills Golf Course, drawing tens of thousands of fans from across the country to see top golfers in the game compete for the Harton S. Simple Trophy. Tickets are now on sale, so swing by the U.S. Women's Open website and get yours today. Downtown Dining Week is back, running May 29 through June 5th. Enjoy some of the best dining deals of the year at more than 25 participating restaurants. Multi-course meals start at $15 for lunch and $35 for dinner, with premium options available at $45 and $55. Menus will be posted in mid-May, so check back and start planning your dining adventures. And speaking of dining to celebrate 15 years in business, Cafe Corazon launched Operation Break Room last month. This year-long thank you campaign is delivering free guacamole, chips, and salsa verde to 15 Milwaukee area companies, nonprofits, and organizations, as well as monthly donations to food pantries and community causes across the city. Do you know an organization that would be thrilled to enjoy some free chips and salsa? Nominate your workplace by visiting any Cafe Corazon location or by emailing their catering manager. Check out Cafe Corazon's website for details. The Sharon Lynn Wilson Center's Starry Nights concert series returns on June 27th with free outdoor concerts running through August 8th. This year's lineup includes crowd favorites like Altered 5 Blues Band, Chicken Wire Empire, and De La Buena. Visit the Sharon Lynn Wilson Center website for a full lineup to make plans for summer nights under the stars. And get ready to storm the Bastille. Thursday, July 17th, the annual Storm the Bastille kicks off at 9 p.m., winding through East Town and the historic Third Ward before finishing in Cathedral Square. Runners will receive a commemorative shirt, a celebratory drink at the finish line, and of course, the accolades and praise of all of their friends and family. Visit the Bastille Days website to learn more and sign up for this annual tradition today. Noble Catering and Events is getting a new HQ in Bayview. That was beautiful rhyme. Bravo to John, our script writer. The space will feature an event venue, a design center, and a tasting room, adding even more options for celebrations and events in the neighborhood. Stay tuned for updates as Noble Catering prepares to open their beautiful new space. And of course, last week we celebrated the NFL draft by hosting Milwaukee Tailgate Week, sponsored by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Capitalizing on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our state, the week kicked off with a partner mixer at Team Lammy's Palmer Street Lofts and the Tailgate Talk live luncheon with former Badger and Super Bowl champion Travis Beckham at Saz's on South 2nd, and then wrapped up with Jordy Nelson's Milwaukee Tailgate, featuring a live taping of Inside the Huddle at the UW Panther Arena. A huge thank you to all of our partners who made this week such a massive success, and to everyone who joined us throughout the celebrations. And in case you missed it, we are celebrating National Travel and Tourism Week with a big activation at the Mall of America. Next week, members of our team will be in the Twin Cities, showcasing Milwaukee to visitors alongside partners like Mexican Fiesta, Urbane Oasis Spa, Lakefront Brewery, and the Pabst Theater Group. Stay tuned for photos and highlights from this exciting activation to celebrate tourism in Milwaukee. And we are only just 2 weeks away from Visit Milwaukee's annual meeting presented by Magic Productions, and you are all invited. Taking place on Tuesday, May 13th at the American Family Field, join us as we roll out the barrel to celebrate an incredible 2024 and light up the scoreboard with our plans for the year ahead. Tickets are on sale now. Visit the RSVP section of Visit Milwaukee's website to get yours today. And save that date for another great day of golf. Taking place this year at the Wisconsin Country Club, the Greater Milwaukee Hospitality Open returns on September 17th. This outing raises funds to support scholarships for students pursuing hospitality careers at Milwaukee area colleges and universities, and helps to establish a small business emergency fund. Registration and sponsorship details will be available soon. We hope to see you on the course. And finally, be sure to save the date for next month's webinar on Tuesday, May 27th at 2 p.m. Keep an eye on your inbox for more information and an RSVP link. Now, before we dive into our SEO workshop this afternoon, I'd like to welcome Paige Hammond, Marketing and Communications Manager for the Milwaukee Public Market. Paige is responsible for shaping and executing the market's marketing and communication strategies and overseeing public relations, digital content, and community engagement initiatives. She plays a key role in promoting the market's events, private event offerings, and vendor visibility while strengthening relationships with local partners, media, and sponsors. Alongside her role leading marketing communications, she oversees the Milwaukee Public Market crew responsible for the market's role as co-host of the 12th Annual International Public Markets Conference, partnering with local and global organizations to showcase Milwaukee on an international stage. And a special thanks to her and her whole team for helping to host our Milwaukee Flavor Live event earlier this year to promote the Visit Milwaukee online and soon to be in print cookbook. Paige, welcome.
Josh, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that's listening right now. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to chat with you a little bit about the Milwaukee public market. We are lucky in that a lot of people are already pretty familiar with the Milwaukee public market, but I do want to start by giving a quick overview of the market, which, if you haven't had the opportunity to visit us yet, is located right in the heart of the historic Third Ward neighborhood. Even if you haven't visited us, you probably have seen that sign pictured here. We are one of the most visited destinations in the city, welcoming nearly 2 million visitors every single year. We were recently named the best public market in the country for the second year in a row, thanks to USA Today. Um, Something we are still so over the moon about. We like to brag that we are Milwaukee's iconic food and event destination. We are home to 18 independently owned vendors, offering a broad spectrum of food choices ranging from local Wisconsin staples like fresh cheese curds and fried cheese curds, both delicious. The popular lobster roll from St. Paul Fish Company, along with an assortment of ethnic options, artisan grocery, and other shopping. Every year, we host community programming events like our popular Harvest Festival in October and our summertime Riverwalk Commons concert series, cooking classes, and private events, including culinary team buildings for corporate clients, which are really, really fun. I am actually here to chat with you a little bit today about the International Public Markets Conference, which is happening here in Milwaukee this June. We are co hosting this year, which is something that we are so excited about. It was actually held last in cities like Toronto, London, and Barcelona. So being able to share that Milwaukee is next will never get old. It is put on by an organization called Project for Public Spaces, a 50-year-old nonprofit organization focused on public spaces and public markets. It will bring together hundreds of people from all over the world who are passionate about public markets, food systems, community building, and city development. It includes public market managers, food entrepreneurs, nonprofit leaders, urban planning, civic leaders, all gathering to learn, share ideas, and get inspired by what Milwaukee and Wisconsin are doing in that field. It is something we're really excited about is the opportunity not only to showcase the Milwaukee public market, but Milwaukee and Wisconsin to a global audience. And we all know that Milwaukee and Wisconsin have had many opportunities to have a global spotlight. So being able to add to that is that much more exciting. We are going to be partnering with a lot of local organizations like Fondy Farmers Market, West Allis Farmers Market. Those are two really well established public markets in our area. Also, newer markets like Sherman Phoenix, Green Bay, and Madison public markets, which are going to be opening a little bit later this year, as well as nonprofit organizations like Hunger Task Force. There is so many wonderful things happening in Milwaukee when it comes to markets and nonprofit and food security initiatives, and we're really excited to be able to show those off. The conference will be 3 full days of programming, including things like panel discussions, mobile workshops and tours, social events like an opening party at the Milwaukee Public Market, which I am especially excited about. There's also going to be a Riverwalk Commons concert that is actually open to the public. That's located under the 794 freeway, right next to the pickleball courts, right across from the Milwaukee Public Market. That will be on Friday, June 13th. So everybody is invited. Please mark your calendars. We are actively looking for partners to be a part of this. There are still opportunities to sponsor the event, and there's a lot of value in reaching both a local audience and an international audience through partnering with this event. And that's because Milwaukee Public Market is able to use our social channels, our email newsletter to really thank our local sponsors that are supporting this really, really impactful event in our community. And there's also an opportunity to reach that global audience through Project for Public Spaces. If you are interested in experiencing Milwaukee in a unique way and learning about the transformative power of public markets and communities, you can also register to attend the conference by going to the Project for Public Spaces website. It's a really wonderful opportunity to be a part of this really global event while celebrating Milwaukee's public spaces and markets, and a chance to show the world what makes our city special and build connections that can open up new opportunities for years to come. That's already something that we've experienced through just the planning for co-hosting this conference as we build relationships with some of those local partners that I've already mentioned. We are incredibly excited and we'd love for you to be a part of it. On top of that, 2025 is our 20th anniversary. We have a lot of special of things planned, including special events and community collaborations. This Saturday, we'll actually be at Riverwalk Commons across from the Milwaukee Public Market for our first ever Festival of Flowers, and we'd also love to see all of you there. If you'd like to learn any more about anything that I've talked about, please reach out to me. My email is paige@milwaukeepublicmarket.org, but you could also just call the Milwaukee Public Market and ask for me. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Paige. A huge congratulations to you and the whole crew over at the Milwaukee Public Market for defending your crown as the best public market in the country last week. It's such a huge accomplishment. And I know it's an accomplishment because I love to go to the public market. I see everything, all the great work you do to elevate a Milwaukee profile, elevate our culinary scene, give so many visitors a great place to call home when they're here visiting the community, but also a great place for residents to go and meet up and celebrate. Such a valuable asset for us and well deserving to be the #1 public market. And it's such a great honor. So congratulations again for that. And we can't wait for that 12th annual International Public Market Conference. This is a huge win for it to be in Milwaukee. I do encourage everybody to take advantage of it. Whether you work in food or hospitality, or maybe you're one of our corporate partners joining us today, I think this type of conference would be valuable for anyone to learn from and understand the impact that public markets have on a community, and then also the vibrancy and economic development opportunities that come along with it. So great opportunity for our community. So thanks again, Paige, for all that you do and the crew at Milwaukee Public Market. Next
Thank
up,
you all.
yeah, you're welcome. Next up, we have our featured presentation this afternoon. Zach Brown, SEO manager of Simpleview, is going to show us the ins and outs of search engine optimization. Zach oversees a team of SEO analysts dedicated to driving organic traffic to destinations across the United States and Europe. Prior to joining Simpleview in 2021, Zach spent 8 years as a client working for 3 different destination marketing organizations in southeastern Pennsylvania. In his spare time, Zach is a food blogger exploring and writing about more than 550 independently owned restaurants around his home in Berks County, Pennsylvania. Zach, welcome and take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today. Really appreciate everybody's time. Real quick, just wanted to mention, talking about big events coming into Milwaukee. I had the opportunity to be in Milwaukee last year for the annual Simpleview Summit conference, where we had hundreds of clients from across the country come into your destination for our annual client gathering. While I was there, I picked up this little guy from the Milwaukee Public Museum. I really wanted to bring home a Harley after going to the Harley Museum, but unfortunately, I have a family and wanted to keep it that way. So, since I can't obviously hear any of you laughing, I'm going to assume that that joke went over really well and you all find me hilarious. That said, the reason I bring him up, this little guy here, is I found the museum through doing an organic search while I was there. I was looking specifically for a place to go during my free afternoon, evening that I had during the conference. Also wanted a place that I could get something gifty for my, then 6-year-old son. Public Museum met both of those criteria. And again, it was through doing Google searches that I was able to find that. So all of that is relevant to the topics that we're talking about today, which is search engine optimization and how to get started with SEO. Now, I mentioned, I call this get started with SEO. Um, some of this may be very basic to you or sound very basic, but there's some important nuggets here that I'll mention as we go. But I think everybody can take something out of this presentation at the end of the day that you'll be able to go back and utilize for your own website, and your own, brand. So, yeah, let's dive in. You already know a little bit about me. Thank you for that great intro, Josh. So yeah, I've been doing this at Simpleview now for 4 years. Started as an SEO analyst with a portfolio of clients. Now I oversee our SEO department, train our team, and really, as mentioned, our clients are the tourism industry. It's Visit Milwaukee and clients, organizations like Visit Milwaukee, representing cities, states, and even countries across the globe. So we are here. We work, for trying to get Visit Milwaukee found. And I appreciate that Visit Milwaukee is here, invited me here to help get all of you found on Google. So with that, we'll dive in. Just what is SEO, search engine optimization? A wise man once said SEO is the art of getting Google to like you a little better today than yesterday. Um, you can look up all kinds of different definitions of SEO and come up with all different things, and there'll be technical sides and there'll be non-technical sides, and there'll be this kind of abstract idea of SEO, but really this is what it boils down to. You want Google, and Google specifically, because it is 89% of the total search market. You want Google to like you more today than yesterday. You want them to see your website as being that much more authoritative each and every day. That results in more clicks and hopefully then more sales on the back end. So fundamentals of SEO for small, medium-sized businesses. Again, some of this is going to be basic, but others I hope you'll get a little bit more insight into how you can improve things, even if you're already doing some of this stuff. First, we're going to talk about claiming your business listing on Google. It's the most basic thing you can do when it comes to SEO. Then we're going to talk about your website. Yes, you need a website and you need to keep it updated. We're going to talk about what that looks like, how you can utilize best practices that are going to help both Google and now uh, ChatGPT and other AI searches be able to find you and use you as a resource. I'm going to talk about how you can answer your customer questions and how the website plays into that. And then also talk a little bit about how you measure success with some free tools that are out there. Yes, free tools, thanks to Google and others that will allow you to see just how well or not the work you're doing on the SEO side is going for you. So first, let's talk about claiming your business on Google. So why is this important? Well, it gives you top placement for brand searches, right? We all want people to know our business, and once they do, we want them to see, we want your content to be the first thing they see. That Google business listing is the first thing you see when you do a search for a brand name or a specific business name. On mobile search, it's always on the right-hand side of desktop searches. And this allows you to control the information, right? So you put your own hours in there, you put your phone number, your address, all of the basics that you would typically have, and make sure that they're up to date. And there's also enhancements that you can do. You can put your own photos in there. You can add your events and any specific information that may be necessary. And what I'm going to do is show you some good and bad as it comes with claiming your business here. So, in addition to all the things that I mentioned, I also come from a family of small business owners. My mom is the Lori of Lori's Candy Station in the small town of Robezonia, Pennsylvania. And this is what her Google My Business looks like. Couple things to point out here. One, it's really easy to claim your business. There is a button to do so right on that first page. If you haven't already done it, please go do that. That should be the first thing you do after this session. But also you can see the information as it's popping up here. The hours, you can see when that was last updated by the business. Really important to know that this is current and accurate information. Our business, Lori's Candy Station, changes its hours seasonally. We're about to enter the summertime. We're going to have later hours because she also offers ice cream. And so very important that those hours are updated so that she doesn't have people calling her on days or times when she's closed. Also, you can see the photos up there. We can add some additional photos to try to make it a little bit more appealing. And also the great thing about or potentially downside of Google My Business is the rating that pops up there. 96 Google reviews. Very proud to say that she has a 4.9 rating. The one-star review she has actually says it was great, and I think they just thought they were putting a 5-star and put a 1-star instead. So let's look at the back end of this a little bit now. Every type of business is going to have some different things that could be included in here. Because this is a food related business, we have things like ordering and menu. But there is a ton of opportunity here for you, no matter what business you have, to be able to add things on here. Definitely, if you're a restaurant, make sure that you've got your menu linked on here, and that it's current. One of the benefits of having a website is you have a place, a repository for that. You could also use your DoorDash or Toast Tab or whatever other platform you may be using. If you are a store and you want to get into the e-commerce realm or are in the e-commerce realm, using the products section of this and connecting to Google Merchant accounts is going to be super important for you there. But most importantly, things that everybody can use. Edit your profile. That's where you're going to get your hours, etc., updated. Have the opportunity to read and respond to your reviews. You can send and receive messages directly through here. Add your photos, and the performance metrics. That tab there is going to tell you how many people have seen your profile, and based on the searches that they've done. So let's look at the profile here. Um, Again, a lot of basic information. You want to add a description about your business, maybe a little history, make sure your website is linked here. Make sure your map is accurate. Google sometimes will put you in the wrong spot out of nowhere. You can add a service area. Maybe you don't have a physical location, like if you're a service business and you're serving lots of different areas, like a caterer or something like that. You can put that so everybody knows where to find you. You can add special hours based on holidays, etc. Accessibility, really important. If you've got accessible amenities here, additional amenities, there's a ton of different things that we can select here with the business profile. And all of this is going to go on that search result page. Everything is going to be seen by the consumer there. So all these different areas, all of these different options and amenities are going to be there and ready right off the bat. And it's going to help with other searches too. If you've got it in here that you do delivery, somebody searches for delivery near me, you have the opportunity to appear in those searches. So all of this plays back together for the organic searches. And here we go. The near me searches, we're going to talk more about this coming up here. That's a lot of the search volume that's out there today on Google, is people looking to find what's available near them. In this case, doing a search for chocolate shop near me does pull up my mom's candy store, because that is set as the primary business category. And there are thousands and thousands of searches per month for chocolate shop near me. She's not going to show up for somebody who does that search in Milwaukee, but because I have all of the different things filled out with the address, location, and service area on her profile, it's going to show up for people who do the search within the radius of the candy store. And then here's just another example of what this looks like on the front end when you've got your profile filled out. Oftentimes, Google is putting these listings right at the top. So here I'm doing a search for Chocolate Shop Robisonia, the name of the town, and you can see her business name popping up right at the top. And again, it's not pulling the website first, it's pulling that Google listing first. So again, definitely want to make sure that you've got it as filled out as possible so that you are appearing in as many different ways as you possibly can. And by having your profile on Google linked back to an existing website, that's going to give you the more opportunity to get those conversions and transactions on the back end once they make it to your site. And yeah, you can also filter here on these searches looking for hours to see things that are specifically open now, or as you can see here, open 24 hours or on a specific day. This is where having those hours filled out correctly is going to be a big benefit. I've seen a lot of places that either don't fill out their hours or they put always open even though they're not. And that makes it very difficult for the user. It confuses them. It doesn't allow them to get the real experience. And the last thing you want is somebody calling you or going to your place of business after hours, finding out you're closed, and then coming back and saying, leaving you a 1-star review because, it said you were open, you weren't, and they've wasted their time and money coming to your place. I dealt with that a long time ago when I was working retail, back in the days when we actually would print our hours on magnets. And back then, we changed our hours, cut it back, and I had people coming after I was closed, and they were not happy that the business was closed when they arrived. Google has kind of fixed that and or allows us to fix that by keeping our hours up to date here. So what are users searching for? Near me, really, really important. Again, that geographic location is super important. When I was in Milwaukee, I was looking for things near me, right? I was looking for museums near me, gift shops near me, places to eat near me, all those different searches. And I do a lot of traveling. You're going to see some other examples of that in some additional searches and examples coming up here. But yeah, it's really important for people to find you with those near me searches because the first search they do is not your brand name. They don't know you yet. They need to find you. And to do that, they're going to search for your category near me, restaurants near me, things to do near me, etc. They're also going to be looking for open now, especially on the restaurant side, the shopping side. People want to know if they go there, are you open? So adding that open now adding open now to their searches is a common practice at this point. So keeping those hours up to date, definitely critical for being shown in those searches that users are doing. So, Google My Business Profile, it's important, but really you need a website and you need a solid website that delivers the right information to the user. So let's take a look at what that is. First, what happens if you don't have a website? Well, you have a lack of control over your brand and you become reliant on those customer ratings. You saw it on the previous example. Yes, Lori's Candy Station has a 4.9 customer rating. So that's great and super helpful. Not every business has that. We know, I'm sure all of you have seen it. The most likely reviews that people are giving are either 5-star or 1-star. They're going to talk about their great experience. They're going to talk about the worst possible experience they could have. So when you don't have your website on there, you're reliant on the customer ratings from Google, from Facebook, from Yelp and TripAdvisor. So not an ideal situation. And you have a less opportunity to optimize for results and be shown in search. You're basically then relying solely on that Google My Business listing, even if you have a Facebook page, because you're not able to do more specific keywords and add them to your content to be found by users who are doing specific searches. So that's where the website comes in handy. Here is an example. So I do a lot of traveling. I was recently in Evansville, Indiana for a conference and had to find something to eat. One of the things that popped up is Stone City Grill. So did a search for Stone City Grill. I believe this was in the hotel that I was at. And here we can see if we click into this, um, uh, there we go. 2.7 on Yelp. Not a great look, right? And there's no, as you can see here, there is no website for Stone City Grill. They're relying on a Facebook page that only has a 3.5 rating with 4 votes. Here, that's 2.7 rating with 3 votes. Even their Google listing was only at like a 3 point something rating. Without having a website for this business, again, relying entirely on these reviews, and that's controlling the brand. If they had their own website, their website would likely be in the top spot for the brand search. You wouldn't see these poor listings above the fold in search. Yes, they would still be out there and people would continue to do more searches and likely would eventually find them. However, you give yourself more opportunity to control the narrative, right? This is going to immediately turn me off from going to this restaurant. Whereas if I saw their website and it was a well done website, I might give them a chance rather than, you know, seeing this first and immediately dismissing them. So what does the website actually need? Well, it doesn't have to be fancy, and we'll talk about that. It just needs a simple design. We need introductory copy. That's your elevator pitch about your business. And ideally, that would be filled with keywords that people would be looking for. What is it? Your elevator pitch most likely has those same, what we would consider keywords that people are searching for, just based on your natural, the way you talk about your business. What is it that you do? What is it that you offer? Put that in the introductory copy, and that's going to be a big benefit to you in the long run. Your hours and information, yes, you want that on the Google My Business page, but you also want it on your website. Should match, hopefully, from one place to the other. Also, how to find and contact you. Not only, geographically, people will look at you on Google Maps and likely have seen you on there if they're coming to your website. But how do they get in touch with you? Do they need to call? Is there a contact form? Do you do email? What is it that, what communication method is it that you're using, or prefer for people to get in touch with you? And then a custom URL. It doesn't have to be an expensive one. And, there's ones that are more expensive than others if you go on to GoDaddy or other domain host services. But you want it to match the business name as best as possible. What doesn't it need? It doesn't need a fancy design. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a website. You can get something pretty solidly done professionally for less. If you have the skills to do it yourself, you can do it for, theoretically free, except for the time that it takes you. You don't need tons of photos and videos in that website. You want enough to show your business, right? But you don't need to fill, gallery after gallery of photos or videos about your business. If you have a restaurant, highlight the photos of your best dishes. If you're a store, highlight, add some photos that represent the things that you offer, things that you're selling. Hotel, you got your pool, you got your rooms, you kind of you got your basics that you would include there. Anything that tells your story. That's what the website is all about. It's about telling your story to the general public. You don't want a generic address. Definitely spend the money on an actual URL, not, mysite.wix.com, which is like their default for free websites. That actually is, you're basically driving traffic to wix.com and not your own domain. And it makes it harder for you to rank in search. I see it all the time with my food blog, that people have these very generic .something.com domains, because they don't want to spend the money for their own website domain, and it gets pushed down the page below all the other, all the Yelps and TripAdvisors of the world. Your website also doesn't need round the clock maintenance. This isn't something, yes, a website is, in my opinion, never finished. But it also shouldn't be something that you need to monitor 24/7. If you've got your information up there, you should only really be making updates to it when it makes sense. Maybe seasonally, maybe monthly. It depends on your business, and what you offer and what changes are made. If you're a restaurant, put your weekly menu specials up there once a week, but don't change the overall page. If you're offering a sale, put something on to highlight the sale that you currently have going on. But again, don't change the basics of the website. Once you have that elevator pitch on there, once you have your pages that tell your story, those shouldn't change too often. So here's an example, the Lori's Candy Station website, that I built. Very, very basic. At the top, we got a header that shows off some products. We got some products there. Here, just a little about us page and a little thing about, meet Lori, to talk about the person behind the name of the business. This is it. There's not much more that needs to be done here. Like, I could build out pages for all of those items that we saw in here. There's really not a need for that. What I'm doing is enough, right? This is plenty for Google search to be able to find you and index you and understand, those product categories that you saw there, homemade chocolates, ice cream. You're going to get, again, ranked for those things, near me. Sugar-free candy near me. we're going to get ranked for that because I've got it on the homepage. The other thing that your website can do for you, and where you really want to utilize it, is to answer your customer questions. So, how do I know what my customers are asking? Well, the first thing is to listen, right? You know your customers better than anybody, I hope. They're coming in, and if they have a question that they're asking you when they're in your place of business, your store, your service counter, your restaurant, whatever it is that you have, um, what those questions that they have are the things that you should be answering on your website. Maybe you don't need to have, a full page on your website for every single question that's asked. But if somebody comes in to your restaurant and they ask you if you have gluten-free options, you better put on your website what your gluten-free options are somewhere. Make it very clear. That way people can find it ahead of time, and you have the opportunity to then rank in searches for people looking for gluten-free. That's kind of the basics behind it. Google ultimately is here as a question and answer resource. The other thing that you can do is do some basic research on Google. And I'll show you a little bit about that here in a moment. But also check your competitors. Lori's Candy Station, I built that website out for my mom. I know what all the other ice cream and candy stores in the area are doing and what they have on their websites. And I'm going to make sure that if they're ranking for something, and if I see them in a search that I do, that I make sure I've got the same thing on our website, so I can, again, match or better them with what they're doing. So, how do you do some simple research on Google? Well, first, start by just typing in what it is that your business offers. Here, I typed in homemade chocolates, and it's going to give me all of these other options for searches that people are doing. There are some very specific things in here, like homemade chocolates for a special someone manga. But there's also things that would make sense for us to take advantage of as a business. Homemade chocolates for Christmas. Okay, people are looking for holiday specific things. Let me create a Christmas page on the website that highlights the different specialty candies that we're doing around the Christmas season. Homemade chocolates with caramel. Okay, I do have some caramel page, some candy. I can add some photos and maybe do a page just about our caramel candies that we're doing. And then even ideas, we also sell chocolate molds to make your own chocolate. So I can take some of that and some of these keywords and integrate them into our website, our web page, talking about the candy molds that we sell. Other areas on Google that are give you the free information, down towards the bottom, and now actually sometimes more towards the top of search results, you're going to get some of these recommendations for other searches. So I did a search for ice cream near me, and here's some of the things that popped up as other options, other things people are searching for. Best soft serve. We don't do soft serve, so that's not relevant to us, but we do milkshakes, and I think they're the best. So I want to make sure that I'm highlighting milkshakes and shakes on the website. And adding, I don't, this is why missing is where I live. I don't necessarily need to add that particular town to the website. But I know that we're within that radius because of the information that we've got available that we would fit with that search. And you can see some of the other things in here. Ice cream shop near me open. Again, people looking for things that are open. Delivery. Do we offer delivery? No. If we did, I would definitely want to highlight that on the website. Amish ice cream. Yeah, we're in Pennsylvania. There are Amish people near us. We don't offer Amish ice cream, but if we did, we would definitely want to highlight that as well. And definitely something to point out here, get help if you need it, right? I know I'm talking to small business owners or managers, marketing managers, partners, different levels of involvement in the various businesses. Nobody has the time to do everything. There are people out there that can help you to do what you need. And it's okay if you can't do it all. But what I would say is don't just get an intern to do it. This is a common mistake that a lot of people make. just because an intern spends all day, they're in college, maybe they spend a lot of time on social media, that doesn't mean they're actually good at it. Just because they spend a lot of time on the internet doesn't mean they're actually good building websites and knowing how to do um, SEO. Agencies can be expensive, but there are other options out there. Consider a freelancer, ask around, maybe partner with other businesses. And all of that is, you can probably get a package deal. There might be some agencies that are working already with Visit Milwaukee. There might be some referrals that can be done there to get you, a better deal on doing what needs to be done. And also make sure that you're only signing up for what you need to get done. There are people that will take advantage of you, unfortunately, where they're going to sell you a bill of goods, and a lot of it won't have any impact for you in the long run. So just be critical of any agencies that you're talking to and freelancers. But if it sounds like they're offering what you need, definitely sign up for it. But also don't give up, right? Just because there's a lot of work to do, it doesn't mean that you can't be done and that there's not people that can help you do it. So let's take a look at how we can measure our success. Again, using some free tools that are out there. First, you got to know your own goals. For Lori's Candy Station, we're not selling anything on our website, but we want to increase the number of people who are visiting our website. We want to increase the number of people who are seeing our profile in Google My Business. And we want to check the results of that. And we also want to see, how we're getting those users to the website. And there's free tools available to you via Google Analytics and Google Search Console that you can utilize. And I'll show you those here and how you can utilize them. So Google Search Console, free platform. Love this platform. If you know nothing else about SEO, I want you to know how to use Google Search Console. So I'm looking here at the website statistics for fabrics.com, which is my wife's business. Um, and this is going to tell you how many clicks that your website has gotten from Google searches. And it's going to tell you exactly what users are searching for. So here we see on the search results tab that over this last 3-month period that we have highlighted here, total clicks, 63,000 clicks. The total number of impressions, 2.93 million. That's how many times their website was shown in Google searches during that time period. You can also see the click-through rate, which is just simple math, clicks divided by impressions, and the average position. Where are they being shown in search results? But the best data is going to come down below with the queries and the specific searches that users are doing that are showing up for Fabric Mart's website. So here we go. Branded keywords, obviously, they're going to do really well for that. But as I mentioned before, users are only going to search for your business name once they know about your business. They have to find you some other way. Fabric Mart is a unique business. They're actually doing really well right now, thanks to Joanne going out of business. But their specialty is in taking designer fabrics. When a designer is done printing their shirts or pants or dresses or whatever they're making out of that. And then they buy the leftovers and sell it for pennies on the dollar. So cheap fabric and discount fabric are really important keywords for them because that's exactly what they're offering, right? And here we can see that for cheap fabric, 1,200 people clicked on that during this 3-month period out of 8,800 people who did that search. Discount fabric, 1,193 people clicked on that out of 10,300 that did that search. Then we can see fabric by the yard, cheap fabric by the yard, fabric online, a bunch of different keywords here. And what we can do with this and see which keywords are we doing really well for, which have the highest click-through rates, which have the lowest position because you want to be as close to number one as possible. And the ones that we're not performing as well for, like Fabric by the Yard and Fabric Online, Online Fabric Store, maybe we find a way to take those keyword phrases and work them into the website a little bit more prominently, right? So online fabric store, we can take that information and I can go to my wife and say, hey, we need to update your homepage and make sure that online fabric store is very prominent in that intro paragraph. Make it clear to Google that that's what you are, so that you get shown a little bit better than position 8 in the searches moving forward. Yep, and the click-through rate highlighted there again. You want that to be the highest percentage as possible. Generally, that's going to come the higher up the page, the lower that position number, the better the click-throughs are going to be because most people will click on that first result and not scroll below that. Here is Google Search Console, or not Google Search Console. This is Google Analytics. Very another free platform. This is Fabric Mart's data again, and this is looking at their revenue for a particular period, and it's broken down by how users came to the site. In this case, we wanted to look at organic search because that is what Google searches, Bing and Yahoo and other search engines are showing up as. And in this case, we can see how much revenue is coming in from that versus some of the other platforms, how many users are coming in there, how many sessions those users had on the website. So there are repeat visitors in this total. And then the goal is obviously to increase all of those things over time. So we want next year for this month to have a higher total revenue. We want next year for this month to have a higher number of users, a higher number of sessions. And that should be the focus. And this tells you whether or not the work you're doing on SEO is accomplishing what you want it to accomplish. So with that, I have a thank you slide up here. I just want to mention one more thing because the biggest change that we're seeing right now as it relates to SEO is with AI, right? And I don't have ChatGPT in here. I don't have other AI examples in here, and that's intentional because in this, the optimization for AI is really the same as it is for SEO. It's the website and the information you have on it. What AI isn't going to scrape, it's not going to scrape Google's My Business profiles. So that's one area where there's a limitation by just having that business profile filled out. You want all that information on your website as well. And with AI, it doesn't come through as organic search in Google Analytics. It comes through as referral traffic. And also, ChatGPT doesn't cite its sources by default. So the other thing that we have to consider here, and I'll leave it at that with AI, is it's just not as measurable as organic search and organic clicks. Organic clicks, very measurable, very important to your business results. So that's what we need to be tracking right now. And until there's a better measurement tool out there, I'm hesitant to put too much stock into the AI side of this work.
Outstanding. Zach, thank you so much. Extremely informative. Lots of great information for all of our partners to absorb in. We did have a couple of quick questions,
Sure.
if you don't mind, in the chat. One of them was with Google, how to remove old photos and reviews of your business. Any recommendations there?
It's a great question. The best thing that you can do, honestly, you're not going to be able to remove reviews, right? The reviews are kind of, once it's out there, it's out there. Best thing to do is to encourage more people to give you those 5-star reviews. I know you don't want to go out there and, just tell everybody to come in and give you a 5-star review. It feels weird, but I mean, it is truly the best thing that you can do for your business is to encourage others to review. I can tell you from my experience at the DMO, I was at Discover Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We were able to get our visitor center to be the #1 ranked attraction in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, despite it being just a place for people to use the bathroom, because we encouraged literally everybody who came into the building to give us a 5-star review and got a lot of them to do it. So you can definitely build up your brand by getting and encouraging people to leave reviews for you. Get the little sign on the window that says leave us a review with the little QR code. hand a little card or put it on your business cards or just a little thing on the counter. That's going to help. As far as photos, go again, it's hard to get rid of old stuff. Once it's there, it's kind of there. Take new photos. Encourage, whether you're paying for a photo shoot or just doing it on your own. You definitely want to keep it fresh. And that's going to push the old stuff down, right? And then you won't be able to see it anymore.
Yeah, and if you're not seeing uh, changes right away, even though customers are starting to drop those 5-star reviews for you, is it just something that just takes time? Just persevere through and get as many as you can, and the average
Yeah,
is
I mean it all depends on, what you've how many reviews we're talking about, right? Like if your business already has, thousands of reviews, it's going to take longer to kind of change the tide than if it's a newer business that only has, a handful of reviews on Google. The example I showed earlier, Stone Bar Grill had 4 reviews with a total of 2.7. They'd be up to 4 stars with just a couple 5-star reviews.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. What if your business is by appointment only when you're doing your hours for business? That's not really an option in there. What would you recommend for representing appointment only?
That is a great question. I would probably lean towards the um I would either lean towards leaving it blank or the always open side. I think you would have to decide on that. If you have it as always open, expect somebody to call you at the always open time. But you could always add it to your description too, right? Your description is going to show up there, so make it like one of the first things that you have in your description so that it's not getting cut off by any character counts. Just say by appointment only, and then continue from there.
Fantastic. And one last one. Uh, you had mentioned earlier adding the proper keywords into the paragraph in the section. Uh, a question just for clarification was, were you saying add those keywords to your About Us section of the profile, or was that somewhere else?
It beats you definitely want the keywords either to both, right? So in your Google account, your Google My Business account, um add like the most important things in your About Us description. But also look, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of business types in there that you can choose from and pick all the ones that match, right? And those keywords are going to be part of those generally. And then on your website, the most important ones you want in your first intro paragraph, right? You want it on the homepage in the, that intro copy, that elevator pitch that you've got on there. Um, and then from there, you can build out, right? So again, the Lori's Candy Station example, that intro paragraph talks about homemade chocolates, ice cream. It talks about, for every holiday like Christmas, etc. We've got all of that kind of built into that paragraph, but then we can also build out, a separate page, again, talking about Christmas, and candies for the holidays. And we have a separate page that just talks about ice cream and has our flavor list. So all of those things, you want to find where it makes the most sense on your website and in your Google My Business to include.
All right, fantastic. Again, thank you so much, Zach, for giving us the 411 on SEO. I hope all of our partners found these tips to be insightful and helpful and start to implement them to boost the traffic and engagement to all of our local websites. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Please join us next time on the webinar on May 27th at 2 p.m. Keep an eye out on your inbox for more information and an RSVP link with more information. And as always, we'll be sharing the full recording of the webinar and our follow-up emails. If you have any other questions about today's webinar, please do not hesitate to reach out to Marketing Coordinator Chris Amon. Thank you again for attending today's webinar. Have a great week, everyone.